So, the actress I'm joined by today, she is making her comeback in Punjabi cinema, actually, after what, 9 years? W-
Mm-hmm.
With
10
Meh,
years, 10
oh
years,
my goodness, it's been a
10
decade.
decade for Punjabi films, 8 years. I shot a Hindi film 2 years ago,
Right.
and that still we're waiting to release. So that was like 8 years later. But yeah, technically, officially, it's like this has become now my first film after marriage. So it's 10 years.
Amazing. Well, look, Geeta, it's so good to see you back on the big screen with Meher. Uh,
Thank you.
the trailer, it looks like an absolute myriad of human emotions and relationships. And not only is it culturally rooted, but emotionally very rooted. Um,
Absolutely.
like you said, this is your first film after marriage. And you have experienced life journey on a very in a very mature way. You've experienced so many different things that you might not have when you were fresh in the industry. How has that kind of, in a way, really helped, I think, for you to really present such emotionally rooted stories now as an actor?
Yeah, I think see when Raj in fact always says, I think with the experiences that he's had in his life as well, the highs and the lows that you face, you kind of
Men-
compartmentalize your emotions. And I feel like it helps you as an actor. The more experience you have in life, it kind of makes you more, like you said, mature. But that being said, see, an actor's talent is that even if you don't go through such things in your life, you still have to kind of portray those emotions. And the thing with my character, this character in particular, Sydney, is a very relatable character. And the journey that I personally had, yes, I've had a beautiful journey, and I'm so glad I took the decision of what I did. I mean, my priority and my whole life is my family. My kids and my husband and my parents, they will always be my priority. But at the same time, I'm glad I'm in the generation where girls still get the opportunity to work, which wasn't there 15 years ago.
Mm.
I lost a lot of films in my hand. I had four big projects that came out of my hand because I was apparently getting married. I was,
Oh, really?
yeah, just forget marriage. Link hona bhi oh ho gaya si ke you can't even be linked to someone, because it was like you are shelved, you are, off the market, you are not available for the audiences or the producers or whatever because they felt that the actress should be single, right? I don't know why and what was the relevance between your personal and professional life because obviously me growing up in UK, it was never that. UK has that culture that you can work even after marriage and it really doesn't affect or hamper your professional life, even in Hollywood. It's never been that. But here it was. But thank God for the shift in the last, I would say 7 years, 8 years, maybe 10 years, that suddenly there's a change, a 360 degrees change in the industry where women today can work. And you're not in the rat race anymore. It's not about you have to be 16, 17 years old and you have to be that young actress anymore. You got plenty of content. And this beautiful film that came to me, Meher, it is a very different film for Punjabi cinema.
Hmm.
And I feel like this is going to change the game for Punjabi cinema because I think it's at a time where it's very, very crucial for the industry to change. And it's the change was just about to come because I think people have I think they're bored of the same content that's being produced.
Yeah.
Same tarah ke actors are there. So it's a fresh pairing that people will get to see that they haven't seen, before with all the actresses and actors that keep coming in the same movies, so the same content. I think log pak chuke hain.
Huh.
And I think we've come at the right time when that change was kind of welcomed, and people are looking forward to this film because it's so fresh and it's so beautiful and it's very relatable. Like you said, it's full of emotions. And
Hmm.
any film that captures your heart from here, it kind of, hits a chord with the audiences, people will love it.
It's interesting you say that as well because this film actually marks Raj Kundra's debut as well. Which
I officially will say this is his debut. I will say I will count this as his debut because he's already acted in a film
right.
2 years ago.
Hmm.
but that he was playing Raj Kundra, so that he was playing himself. So this one, I would say that this I would consider his debut. Yes.
Official debut as an actor, because obviously he's playing a different kind of character, and honestly he seemed to have done pretty well from what I've seen in the trailer actually. So I'm pretty impressed with that. Oh my gosh, but I think you've touched on so many interesting topics here that I think it would be lovely to delve into. But of course we'll talk a bit about Meher before I do touch on the stuff that you have mentioned. um like you said, this film does seem to be a very distinct work from Punjabi cinema. I feel this whole cinematic reset that's happening in Punjabi cinema has been ongoing for a while though. You know, like with the onset of Sufna, the fact that we had like, I mean, Kali Jota for me is like one of my favorite films ever. I think in modern Punjabi
Mhm.
cinema. I think it was such a great film. There's been so many other really good ones as well. Even Gippy's done a few really good ones as well recently. So I think it's good.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think suddenly, I think there's so much of talent in Punjab. Honestly, there's so much of content that's there. There's so many stories, and we have richness in Punjab. And I feel like a family film like this, which is for all ages, from young to the elderly,
Hmm.
that is something that has come after a long time. And even in fact, 10 years ago, the last film that I did was actually a Punjabi film that was released just before my marriage. And that was something where Sameep Kang had come to me and he wanted to do something very different and out of the box at that time also. But that time, I don't think the audiences were ready to kind of
Hmm.
accept that kind of content. So it didn't do well. But me and Gippy did try to do something very different with Locke. But tab nahi hua. But this time now with the audiences maturing, people are wanting to see something different. New content always works today. So I think this is something that people, and this is something that is relatable for all families. Like everyone has their own struggle. You have your own struggle. I have my own struggle. सबके struggles है life में, but life मौका मिलेगा. You'll get that second chance. You'll get opportunities.
Hmm.
And I think एक dialogue जो zero से भी hero बन जाता. That is how it is. People has that the ladder to climb in life.
Hmm, definitely. And I think like audiences are really gravitating towards very emotionally centered stories. Like obviously with the major success that in Hindi Sayara has had, I think the floodgates have really opened up. I think in terms of people wanting stories that are, you know, something that they can relate with,
100%. 100. And on top of that, we got fabulous songs,
Yeah.
great music. And Punjab, the heart of Punjab is music, right? The soul of Punjab is music. So jadon gaane achhe hove na,
Hmm.
people automatically, they do go and watch the film because gaane, that is our culture and that is our history's gaane. Punjab is all on songs.
Of course, absolutely. It's interesting actually because मैं actually अपने एक दोस्त से बात कर रहा था. She's also Punjabi, and I was just saying, but sometimes I do feel this whole pind wala romance, the comedy and all. I was like, yeah, थोड़ा सा मतलब, I want more. I want more. But what she said to me, and it really made me think, is that Punjab एक जो मिट्टी है, first of all, that mitti is so strong. And secondly, that land, Punjab, has gone through so much turmoil and so much turbulence historically, politically, whatever, that in a
Bilkul.
way, you've got no other option but to laugh and smile through it. And I think that's what Punjab
That's what Punjabis are good at.
it's resilient.
Punjabi,
Yeah.
yes.
You know?
100%. ਪੰਜਾਬੀਆਂ ਦੀ ਖਾਸੀਅਤ ਇਹ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਜੋ ਮਰਜ਼ੀ ਹੋਵੇ wherever you go in the world, ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਦੀ ਜੋ niyam hai. Like they are all about love and kindness and happiness and giving. You go to any part of the world, you'll never go hungry jithe sardar hai, jithe Punjabi hai,
Hmm.
because ke 24 ghanta utthe langar chalega, seva chalegi, and that's something about our tradition and our culture that we are so proud of. I'm a very proud Punjabi, and I feel like, this is something that I'm very proud to come back to the Punjabi industry
Hmm.
and be a part of growth. And definitely I think it's not a run of the mill kind of film. It's not pinned the sirf love story. A film ਚ ਅਸੀਂ ਸਾਰੇ ਰਿਸ਼ਤੇ ਦਿਖਾਏ ਆ. We've shown every rishta, which is so beautiful. Bromance. We've shown mother and son. we've shown father and son, we've shown husband and wife, we've shown chache, tae, sara kush, like all about family bonding. So
Yeah,
it's not just about one relation. It's the beauty of all the relationships and the unity of relationships and family.
definitely. And it's interesting as well because there's been a very beautiful sort of trend of like dharmic films coming in Punjabi cinema. Like last year, it was last year, yes, BB Rajni, for example, did magnificently well at the box office and also
Mhm.
bringing out such stories.
Brilliant.
And I think it's so wonderful to see such really, honestly, I love such emotionally rooted stories. And I think,
Yeah, see, ours is not a, I don't want to say it's a preachy film. It's not a preachy film.
of
It's
course,
not something that we're going to preach and, or a religious film. But it's definitely a film where it will hit your chord. Like,
yeah,
there's a certain, dil ch chhu degi, chhu legi, like that kind of film, and I really feel like some films are made for the cinema, like cinematic experiences that you should experience only in the theater. And that's this film is one of them, where you feel like this is not going to come on the OTT platform anytime soon anyway. They're not releasing this. And it's one of those films that you have to enjoy on the larger scale because of the visuals, the song, the BGM, the background music, so all that should be experienced in the theater,
yeah,
you know.
of course. No, definitely. No, it sounds incredible. And I'm really looking forward to catching the film. I believe it's releasing on 5th of September.
Yes, 5th of September, Teachers' Day.
Really. But look, Geeta, I'm gonna rewind back to your earlier response about you losing out big projects because you were not on the market because you were getting married. Um, and as amusing and as alarming as it is, but unfortunately, this is something which has been a bit of a mindset, I think, in the industry for a while. And it's not okay. It really isn't okay. But how did you deal with it at that point in time? And
Yeah, it was hard because I think the moment I entered the industry, which was 2006 and 2007, is when my film The Train released. 2006, Dil Diya Hai released, and end of 2007, the moment my film released is when I met Harbhajan. So
uh,
it's kind of like just the entry of myself in the industry is when I met my soulmate. And I think sometimes I always say that maybe main the inno dur aayi into India is not for maybe the film industry is maybe that I had to meet my life partner, and that is how it is. Like your life plans and upar wale ne sara kuch likhya hunda, everything is predestined. And yeah, so I still did a few movies in that time, and still luckily had some good like movies that I did, whether it's Second Hand Husband, Joby Carvalho, Zila Ghaziabad, Lock. So I did a few, but then I at that time I realized that I don't have a godfather. I don't have a hand on my head to kind of fight for me in the industry to say that she is wanting to work, or she is still there. She's not married, she's not getting married anytime soon, but destiny has its own plans. And like I said, us time pe mera bhi, as as a girl who was growing older, I felt like, my priorities and the rishta that I had with her Bhajan was so pure and so beautiful that it was the right time to settle down. And I felt like, ये सारी चीजें तो होंदी रहेगी, professional चीजें. But as a girl, I was ready to kind of settle down and felt that now it's time. And even Harbhajan, because he was so busy with his schedule of playing, he was at the peak of his career in the Indian team. He didn't have time. I didn't have time to kind of come to a date of when we're going to get married. So a few years later, when the time had come, we said, okay, now it's ready. We're ready. Let's tie the knot. But yes, four big films did come out of my hand. And dukh lag gaya us time pe, because you felt like, why does it matter? Like, why is it so relevant for me to, even if I am dating someone, why does it have any interference on my professional career? You
hmm,
know, but mentality of people are such that farak penda si, I don't know. Um, but jo hunda, achhe ke liye hunda, and that's fine. And I'm back, and I'm glad things have changed for girls. लड़कों के लिए तो वैसा का वैसा ही है. It's nothing has changed for them. But girls के लिए, you see, all the actresses today are married with kids, and they're happily settled in their life and happily doing work at the same time. So I think that's the beauty of where in the generation we're in today. I also have my own production house where
You
we've
have
just
you have your own production
produced a
house as well.
show, Who's the Boss?
Mm.
So that is something that also has done really well, and I got super response for that, and we've got more episodes coming up now. So that is my first production, and the Purple Rose Entertainment. Yeah, so I think well, whoever the actresses are today, most of them all married today. So it's really great to see that.
Yeah, no, exactly. And I think and more power to you. And honestly, I'm so glad that you've dealt with it with such optimism and such grace. Because really it's not easy. And I'm guessing these were like Hindi film projects that went out of it.
Yes, 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 yes. I had Hindi films that came because at that time my focus, I mean, I was in Mumbai and I'm still in Mumbai, but at that time, after Second Hand Husband, I got, great reviews, and I was, but the moment the khabar aa gayi ke shadi ho rahi hai, that was it. The first thing people used to say, producers used to say to my face, they said, "Aapko kya kaam karne ki zarurat hai?
Oh
Aap
my.
to shadi kar rahe hain." I was like how, why does that like have any kind of, why should a girl not have sapne and ambitions and dreams, why does it have to be that this or that? Now it's this and that.
Absolutely not sexist at all, what they were saying. Oh my God.
Yeah.
It's no, but it's actually very infuriating though, because I just think that because no one says it to a man when he's getting married. I mean, he can play the
Exactly.
college going guy, but
They
why?
never say it to a man, but always a girl, always a girl. Why did the girl have to always sacrifice her dreams? Where shouldn't have been that. You should have the choice, the what you want to do and how you want to do it. But like I said, Anuj, at least it's great to see the shift, and it's great to see the change that's come about in the last couple of years. Because today I'm sitting here in front of you after two kids,
Hmm.
after being married, and having that opportunity of coming back and doing what I love the most. I've done two great films. I've got another two coming up. So I'm happy to be in that space. So,
Hmm.
you know, in this position. Yeah.
More power to you. No, seriously, honestly, and you've done so well. You've done
Thank you.
really, really well, like genuinely. And I'm really glad that in a way through Meher that we've been having this conversation because I've been wanting to speak with you for a while actually because I've always wondered actually, like because I remember watching Dil Diya Hai. I mean for a kid maybe I shouldn't have watched that film because it was a little bold. So how the hell I was allowed to watch that film as a 10, 11-year-old?
Yeah, that was a bit
No
much.
idea. But no, but this is a good point actually, because I'll tell you what. Um, I feel like there is this tendency for actors, especially, if they do begin their career a certain way, or if they do veer into a zone which is kind of in a way non-conformist, which is very different to what the status quo of the industry is, i.e., doing a bold film for your first film. You do, in a way, do get compartmentalized, and I think that you do get boxed in. Did you feel like there was that sense of resistance for you as an actor as well? Because you had done a Dil Diya Hai, which was obviously very different. It wasn't your typical.
No, it was a great, like for me, it was a very performance-oriented
It
film. It
was.
wasn't any bold scenes. It was the content itself, the the picture, the narrative was bold,
Hmm.
but it wasn't really a bold film. The Train, on the other hand, was slightly bolder, but it I was playing a negative in my second film, and that was something that was, as an actor, brilliant. Like no actor would have taken that risk of playing a negative role so early on in her career. But I played a total out and out negative role. And that's something that, as an actor, that's what our job is, to perform, right? You can't see me in the same role every single film. Like, you would get bored, I would get bored, right?
Of course.
And you're so um you know put into a stereotypical kind of box of, this is what you're good at. But whereas I feel that I can do everything, I can do all types. And today Meher is totally different from all the films that I've done. Like, it's a totally Indian pind di kuri, kind of like um a transitional role. There's a journey from her young age to a married woman to a mother.
Hmm.
So I feel like that's what our job is, and that's something that we, as actors, have to do. And that's the fun of this role. That's the fun of our industry and our career, is that we get to play these different roles that we're not really in real life.
Hmm. No, very rightly said. And I think also, Geeta, Dil Diya Hai actually did, I mean, it talks about human trafficking as well, doesn't it? Like it talks about
Yes.
the flesh trade. It's a very serious film. It's an intense film as well. So I think for you, at that age as well, when you were fresh on the scene, for you to really delve into this really darker sort of narrative, I think for your first film, it must have been very emotionally quite challenging as well, because what she goes through, if I remember correctly, I mean, it's been a while since I've seen the film, but it was a whirlwind of emotions. And again, she was also fighting patriarchy at that point as well. In
Yes.
the
Absolutely. I was 20 years old and I was really young. And this, when Aditya Dutt came to me with this film, I was like, wow, this is really like intense. And for such a young girl to play these kind of emotions, but I feel like he directed me well. He was a good captain of the ship and he got out the emotions that he needed. And as a young girl who came out with such a powerful um, you know performance, because it was like you said, it's an extremely dark film. It's a extremely like the kind of the transition of this character was totally from one extreme to the other, actually.
Mm,
Like this young girl who's going on a holiday with her family, to being happy and chirpy young girl, to then it's like human trafficking, being sold by the girl that she's fallen in love with.
yeah,
So it is definitely a very hard hitting film. But I'm glad I got to do something like that and glad I got to perform. I think that's what it is. Like people should see me as an actor
of course.
and say that, yes, she can act. She's
Def
not, just उतना ही आ गई चलो ठीक है, like a showpiece and दो तीन गाने मिल गए, that's it. The whole narrative was actually based on this girl.
mm.
She was a central you know part of the whole film.
And this is exactly when I used the word bold earlier, this is exactly what I meant. Bold, not in the sense of it being like nudity and all that, no.
No.
Sense of it being a very, because it's quite a it's for kids, it's a very difficult film to watch, obviously, because of the subject that it is on.
Yeah, yeah.
It was very, it's very, honestly, very commendable. You definitely can act, let me tell you. And
Thank you. When I watch Meher, let's go to back to Meher and see
Mehar,
that this film is also a very, very performance-oriented role for me.
definitely.
The kind of role that I've got in this film is not just, like I said, a showpiece or I have to, just do tin gaane mil gaye, that's
Yeah,
it.
it's
So
not a
I'm the
show.
support system. I'm a support system for my husband, which I am in real life. And this kind of film, you don't get very often, where you actually have a very central part of the film. And as a woman,
Mm,
yes, the film is based on the father and the son and what he does for his family.
mm,
But Sada Jara Rishta, which it's all about that as well, like the
yeah,
struggles that we face as a couple.
of course. And 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 I tell you what, Geeta, another thing I have to say though, when I watched the trailer of Meher, it made me think about the idea of longing and belonging. I think
Mm.
there's that sense of those two really important themes. I would love to know what impact of longing and belonging has that really had on you as a person as well. And did that kind of life experience of longing and belonging really in a way help you to kind of emotionally really relate with the character as well, in that sense?
No, I wouldn't say longing and belong. I think this Simi in general is a very relatable character anyway. हर
Mm.
घर में ऐसी एक लड़की है, and every girl will relate to her because we all are somewhere, whether it's for your spouse or whether it's for your parents, we all are support systems, right? Girls tend to manage and balance the house and the relationships very well, and they become the part of the household.
Yeah.
And that's something Simmi that everyone will relate to her, is because she is that girl that is the binding, um, the epicenter of the whole house,
Mm.
and longing and belonging, Tony, I would say, because yes, we all crave to be belonged and we all want that, recognition. We all want that belonging to someone, or like you said, I don't know how to explain it really. Longing and belonging, I wouldn't say as such, but I would say that this character itself is so intense, with the fact that she will do anything and anything for her family.
Ah, unconditional,
Anything.
basically.
Unconditional, yes, of course, but the level that she will go to save her family and to keep her family together,
Yeah.
that is something that we will see in the film. And to as to why as well, if you see Raj's character, from a guy who wants to be he's a struggling actor, to getting into the ring and fighting,
Mm,
why does he do that? You'll get to see that as well. Like it's a yes, it's a beautiful film. There's so much in this. There's so much relatable kind of content in this that people, and you'll leave with a message.
mm,
That's the thing about this, is never giving up. The whole the talk about never giving up in life, whatever it throws at you.
mm.
ऊपर वाले दे उत्ते विश्वास रखो, अपने ऊपर विश्वास रखो, that you'll get another chance.
Mm. This is beautiful. And I think this is what really works, isn't it? Is having films that are emotionally rooted, like we've been mentioning throughout
Yes.
the interview, but also at the same time, it's having that sense of a social message that थोड़ा सा आपको जागरूक भी करती है.
Yes, yes. And we've shown Punjab, the culture of Punjab as well. That's something that, you'll get to see through this film. That, we're showing a very beautiful side of Punjab, that maybe people have lost, and you'll get back connected to your roots. You as your young child, you'll get to see for the younger generation of the struggles that their parents went through to be where they are today.
Yeah, of
You
course.
know, that's something you go back and you'll get I think it'll hit hard. I think this film will really capture the people's sentiments.
Hmm. That's really amazing, amazing to sort of see that as well. I think what I would love to know, the Geeta, is that now that you are back as an actor and you're kind of like
Yeah.
doing more roles and great work as well, what sort of characters do you think, like obviously Mehar to hai ye, film, but uske alawa, what do you think are the sort of roles that you're really wanting to get your teeth sunk into next, and think that will help you challenge you as well as an actor?
I can't really define a certain role, because I just feel like with the kind of films that are coming today, I'm just shocked with the kind of content that is constantly being produced. You just think, like, you see Lapata Ladies. Oh my God, beautiful film.
Yeah.
You see, all these kind of, as an actor, all you want to do is work with a good producer, good director, and a good, and it has to be a good role, like for you to perform. That's my only aim as an actor. It's not okay. I'm not in that rat race. Ke manu A banna, O banna. I just want to do good quality work, show the audience that this girl can act, and relate to me. Maybe see that, yeah, I'm a part of this character. I am Simmi as well.
Yeah.
And I feel like this is something that, as an actor, this is what gives us a lot of like it makes us want to do more good work when you do films like this.
Definitely. No, I completely agree with you. And I think, like you said, it is all of the above. It is exactly what you've mentioned. It
Yeah,
is,
I can't say like, yeah, I want to do this role, or I want to do, maybe like Devil Wears Prada, or these kind of, because they've been done. Like the kind of films that are coming out today are all different kind of like subjects you wouldn't even have thought of 15 years ago. But today, whatever is being creative is definitely it's Andhadhun. If you've seen Andhadhun,
of
like
course.
what a story, like what a film, like a twist in every like shot. There's a twist,
Yeah.
and these are films that are. I mean, this is something you maybe wouldn't have seen 15, 20 years ago, but these kind of films that are coming out today, I'm, proud to be a part of an industry where it's totally like a very creative time for our industry today.
Yeah, definitely. And also, I was gonna say, I would love to see maybe like a British Asian project or British Indian project that you could,
Yeah, maybe.
because I feel like your voice is really important because you've gone from England to India to work. I'm sure there must have been a lot of like horror stories, I'm sure, initially, and struggle stories that people have had, when they've gone from here to there because of the whole
But touch wood, I haven't actually had that. I'm very
good.
blessed, I would
That's
say. Yeah,
then that's even better to know then.
I came to India in 2004, and I got my first film in 2006. So it was a 2 year struggle, and I'm blessed that I've seen a very good side. to the industry, and I'm happy to share those experiences. But I've not seen, you get to hear these really terrible stories and horror stories, and I'm proud that I have not faced anything as like that yet. So, and I
God,
hope not
no, you're
either.
never gonna face it, and
Yeah,
God,
no, it's a whole
can't
different
keep
industry
quiet.
today.
It's good to
Yeah,
know
it's a
that.
different time today, so it's
Yeah.
really great.
No, but if not that, then even better then. See, that it could also be used, as a like a girl going from England to India to work. There's been so many examples of that, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Think about it. Like
Absolutely.
you had obviously Gia, obviously is no more. We had Gia Khan, Hazel, I was mentioned earlier. Hazel Keach is there. Oh God, how many? There's so many other actors. Bonita, who's gone from Wales to India. I mean, there's so many great stories of, you know
Absolutely.
it would be so good to maybe see a film of that nature. So I'm just
Yeah.
planting that seed. Maybe if you'd like to.
Maybe I'm doing something very soon. You never know. There
Oh,
are some talks going on, so it's a really, yeah, there's a really interesting story that I really, it's been there for like 5 years now, but hoping that comes to
mm.
the screen soon. Beautiful film.
And also, I have to mention actually, I watched you, I think, on Kapil Sharma's show recently, and it was very heartening. It was a very beautiful episode.
Yeah,
I think it really made me feel so happy, and I think the sort of the love that you have with Bhajisa is amazing. And honestly,
thank
I
you.
wanted I didn't want to really mention it, but I just had to because it really touched my heart actually when I saw that episode, even with Sidhu Paji and his wife as well. It was so, I think this is exactly, it's quite interesting because it goes very well with Meher because we were talking about that sense of protective forces, that sense of someone who is unconditional, and
Yeah,
that episode in a way really touched on such themes also. You know,
thank you. Yes,
love,
it is.
really
Yes,
love that.
yes, they are protective. Punjabi Sardars anyway are very protective about their loved ones.
They,
So
yeah, they
yeah,
really are. They really.
I mean, it's all Sardars are the most proud qom, I feel like, and the most giving qom there is. I mean, agar sada desh bhi aaj we're sitting here freely, a lot of credit does goes to the Punjabis who are there,
Mm,
who
the
are
sacrifices.
protecting us. So that it is, they are the most genuine, pure souls.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And honestly, I think it makes me very happy. And I'm so proud, honestly, Geeta, because I think in a way, even though I was very young when Dil Diya Hai and like
Don't
the.
make me sound so old because I'm
Oh my
not. You're
God,
making me sound
no.
so old.
No, it's not. It's more of a, it's not even.
I was very young.
I was 11, 10, 11 years old. So, I mean, hopefully that makes me sound a little
Okay.
better. But no, because I obviously it felt very personal back then also. Every time I used to
Oh,
hear stories of like someone going from London to like, or like from England to perform in India and do work there, it kind of felt like an example that hum bhi kar sakte hain,
like that,
that
bilkul, 100%. I
we.
think that's what it is. Like I always say, okay, don't let go of your dreams. Like, especially for girls, where you feel like "Hun vyah ho gaya," bas. I think more so here because I think here it's more like that than it is in UK or abroad. That girls, women work still even after marriage and kids. Here, I think it was more like you. It's great that you get that opportunity today, and I think girls should really go out there and chase their dreams.
Definitely. No, I think they should. And even when I'm hearing you today as well, just hearing that British accent, but then also mixed in with the Indian accent.
Indian accent, yeah, it's become
And
a
the
bit of a cocktail now because it is like that. You have to keep switching off and on, off and on. The moment I chat to my family, I'm back to my British accent. But the moment I'm talking like or I'm having an interview, my Indian accent comes back because it's kind of like an automatic subconscious thing now that you just talk like that to whoever's the interview. Because this is what we've been doing for the last 10 days is every day. It's just interviews, be interviews, be interviews. But I think when you talk to someone from UK, kind of which is ਸਾਡੀ English accent ਆ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਾਡੀ Indian accent it's like a bit of I
but
don't know what cocktail.
it's beautiful. And I think this is exactly it represents you. It represents your life journey. That's
Yeah,
exactly
yeah,
what
no,
it is.
I'm happy to be here. I'm proud Indian.
And I'll tell you what, and I'll tell you what, and it's amazing to hear that. And next year, actually, it's going to be 20 years since you've made your debut in movies. And I
Yes.
really wanted to touch upon this because I think it's important that I do because 20 साल पहले जब आप थे आप बहुत you were very fresh on the scene. You well, maybe naive might be a good word as well, a little,
Yeah,
you know you didn't
absolutely.
know how the industry worked, but now that you've been through that, you've literally gotten married to one of the most popular cricketers of all time.
Hmm.
Oh my God, it's crazy. You know what? It sounds crazy. You know what? When I say it, I'm like, oh my God, yeah, that's actually crazy. But
Yeah. But he, for me, he's Harbhajan, my husband. He's not, Mr. Harbhajan Singh Jobbar. And mere liye, he's my budge, and he's, like, yeah, he's what you see outside for us. We're just this normal couple at home.
at this point, I'm blushing more than you. Like with the like describing that, I was like, "Ye kya ho raha hai?" But no, this whole journey that you've had, 20 years. I would say, what would you say would be something that you are number one proud of? Um, and number two, if there are any regrets or anything that you would look back on and do something differently, what would that be and why?
Most proud of is my journey, the fact that I made that decision of coming to India and chasing my dreams. I think that's what I'm most proud of, to come from a country where I didn't know a single person here. Ithe apna naam banana and having my family here. That's the most thing I'm proud of. That I've lived what I chased, dream, what I dreamt of, and the fact that I created this beautiful family, my kids. I'm proud of that. Um, Regrets, I don't know. I don't think there's any such regrets, to be honest, because those are the things that make you who you are today.
Hmm.
If you don't go through what you did, or you feel those decisions were not right at that time, I feel like you wouldn't be who you are today. And I think that's something you always, they say, learn from your failures than you do from your success.
Hmm.
So I feel that's something that is a very um, true saying, where you do learn more from the mistakes that you make than you do from the right decisions.
Mm, beautiful, very beautifully said. And what, I mean, I would love to know actually. I think growing up as well, because obviously in England, I think Hindi cinema, Indian movies generally were like something that kept our pop culture going. I think from when we were
Yeah.
away from school and when we were away from work and all of that. So I think for you, what sort of films did you kind of grow up on that really,
Oh yeah, the same what everyone sees. DDOJ to Dil To Pagal Hai. Oh my God, these are the films that
Yashil
you.
movies basically, Yashil.
Those are the films that you grow up with, and those are the films that you dream of playing. DDOJ, Simran, and mine is, Simmi. I'm playing a closer character to her in
Also,
this film.
yeah.
So Simmi is there, yeah, so very closer to that than any other film, which you'll see why I say that is when you watch the film.
Oh no.
Um, yeah, so it's yeah, I would say that those are the films that I've grown up with, and those are the reason as to why I'm here in the first place in Mumbai. But those kind of I would say those kind of that kind of cinema has now faded. I don't think those kind of films are made anymore. People don't want to see those films anymore. People want to see more realistic films or content driven films. Or I think that era was our 90s era,
Yeah.
and today it's a different era, which is nice. Change is the only constant.
Constant.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
No, absolutely. No, on that note, Geeta, it's been such a pleasure to have you on Filmy Show Me. Thank you so much for joining me. Honestly, oh, I'm
And I've had a absolute blast. You know, you've come out with some unique questions, which was nice and refreshing, and really, really enjoyed being on your show today. It
thank
was fun.
you and wishing you all the very best for Meher. And I can't wait
Thank you.
for great.
Please see it in the theater. Please take your friends and family to watch it. Like I said, it's a very cinematic film. It's not a film that you can just watch at home. It is something to be enjoyed on theaters, and Punjabi cinema no support karo, because the moment people go to watch films is when we can make more films, and that's the rise of any industry. Actually, it's not just Punjabi. I think the footfall in the theaters have kind of diminished in the last few years, and I think this is time where we need to go and support the industry so we can make more good films.
Absolutely, absolutely. And wishing all the very best for the film. And I cannot wait to see more great work from you. Thank
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Sat Sri Akal, and
you, Carl.
enjoy Meher on 5th of September.
Definitely. All right, Geeta, take care.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.